Magandang araw na naman mga kababayan, mga kapwa Pilipino. Diyan sa ating inang bayan na mahal na Pilipinas at sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. Nandito na naman kami ng aking co-host na si Dan Ninyo. At ako naman ay si Teddy Molina, ang host ng programang ito, Buhay Pinoy sa Amerika. At kami ay bumabati sa inyo ng magandang araw. Welcome back to Buhay Pinoy sa Amerika. At Dan, my co-host, Dan Nino is based in Los Angeles, while I am based in the Bay Area, here in California. Okay, Dan, bumati ka muna.
Okay. Mga kababayan sa iba't ibang panig ng daigdig o mundo, nandito uli kami para maglahad ng aming kuro-kuro tungkol sa nangyayari sa ating ng bayang Pilipinas at saka dito sa Amerika. Dahil kami ay nagmamalasakit at nagmamahal pa rin sa ating bansang tinubuan, bansang sinilangan. Kaya nandito kami para mag-kuro-kuro sa nangyayari sa ating homeland or inang bayan. Bakit?
Okay, una sa lahat, kami po ay express naming concern sa nangyayaring dalawang magkasunod na typhoon. Diyan sa Pilipinas, ang una ay si Typhoon Tino na nag-hit sa Cebu. At ito naman pangalawa, that was heralded as a super typhoon. Si Typhoon Uwan. And it was forecasted to be a strong typhoon. At it would hit a large area in the Philippines, stretching from northern Luzon up to Bohol. Thank God. We prayed so hard, mga kabayan. Alam kong marami tayong nag-pray sa Lord. And we thank God. Dahil humina ito. Humina itong super typhoon na ito. At pagdating sa kalupaan, at ito ay naging ordinary typhoon na lang. At maraming salamat po, God Almighty, for sparing your people. Dahil very devastating ang nangyari sa naunang bagyo, si Tino. How many were left dead by that typhoon, Dan, sa Cebu?
If you speak about the Typhoon Tino, it is more than 200 people dead, and then, or exactly 224 people dead, especially in the central island provinces of the Philippines, especially Cebu, and then the recent typhoon after Typhoon Tino, Typhoon O1, or known in its international name, Fong Wong. At least about 5 dead. So, but even the piggery or the pigs were not spared. The several pigs were shown.
Because of the floods.
Yes, were shown swimming through the current, and this is the first time that I saw pigs swimming in the flooded streets of the Philippines.
Is that the one that hit Cebu, yung Typhoon Tino?
Typhoon O1.
O1. Pero
Yes.
earlier, doon sa mas grabe ang devastation na ginawa niya sa ginawa ng bagyo sa Cebu. Dahil mga kotse.
Yes.
Mga kotse ang they were
Piled up one another.
yeah, they were thrown away by the floods.
Yes.
Kotse, So
Kotse,
many
siguro talaga
cars
malakas na talaga.
nakikita natin sa news. And all over, the floods were almost all over, according to news reports. Narinig ko pare si Governor, yung bagong governor ng Cebu province, si Pamela Barry Cuatro, na-interview sa TV at nalaman ko na 26 billion, B as in boy, flood control projects. Hinahanap niya kung nasaan, bakit hindi nag-epekto ito. 26 billion flood control projects during the past administration, sabi niya, referring to the administration of her predecessor, si Governor, former Governor Gwen Garcia. And ito ay noong taon 2019. Ngayon, ang response naman ni former Governor Gwen Garcia ay yung flood control projects during her term were national government projects. And at that time, meron daw patakaran ang national government na yung national government projects ay hindi na kailangan ikonsulta sa mga local executives, be it the governors, the mayors, and the sanggunians, and even the barangay governments, even the barangay councils. Kaya hindi daw niya alam kung nasaan napunta yung mga flood control projects na yan, to the tune of 26 billion. And that was since the year 2019. Meron daw patakaran noon during the administration of former President Duterte na hindi na kailangan ikonsulta sa local government executives ang mga projects ng national government. So, that was her response to Governor Baricuatro's criticism against the flood control projects na ginawa sa Cebu na wala namang nangyari. And in that TV interview of hers, it was gathered na karamihan dito malamang ay naging ghost projects. Dan,
Yes.
what's your take on that?
Alam mo, Ted, hindi magandang policy yung hindi isangguni or hindi nila isasangguni sa local government units. Dahil ang mga local government units, they know the topography, they know the geography of the area, they know
Exactly.
where,
They know the needs
the needs of
of
the
the
area.
people.
Hindi magandang policy yun, Ted. I don't know if yun ang patakaran nun, but it should be consistent.
Yeah.
From the previous administration up to the current administration. Dahil
Yeah.
baka palusot lang yun, Ted. Hindi magandang policy yung hindi sasangguni or walang coordination sa local government units dahil sila nakakalam kung saan talaga ang nangangailangan ng
Exactly.
flood control projects.
Yeah.
So I don't agree with that policy, Ted.
Exactly. Kaya magandang dating ng explanation ni former Governor Garcia doon dahil hindi dumaan sa kanya. So, he is not,
So, para naman siguro yan.
she is not the party to blame. Di ba? So,
that's true.
so maraming
Na
nagtatanong, anong nangyari
policy noon.
sa 26 billion na projects na yan?
Pero
Alright.
alam mo, Ted, di ba meron ding supposed to be DPWH ang region o ang probinsya? Bakit so ang nagkamali siguro din isa yung regional office ng DPWH dahil bakit kasi every province mayroong uh, district
Yeah,
office, district area.
yeah. I think the government announced na they will investigate this. This will be part of the investigation and it to be undertaken by the ICI.
Yes.
Kaya marami ang marami na marami ang mananagot diyan. Eh at ito naman, itong dumating naman na bagong dating na, I mean, I think it's still there. Nandun pa yata sa Pilipinas or on the way out. Thank God at humina pagdating sa kalupaan. At anong monitor mo? May namatay din ba itong last na bagyo?
Ang na-monitor ko, Ted, it's not that much ang namatay. Hindi katulad ng Typhoon Tino na namatay na 224 people. So ngayon, parang between 2 to 5 ang reported death. So hindi pa masyadong, siguro hindi pa masyadong na-report yung mga ibang namatay. But nevertheless, kami nakikirami sa ating mga kababayan sa Pilipinas dahil ang inyong mga hinaing dyan, ang inyong
Yeah.
paghihirap dyan ay namin nararamdaman kung nakikita namin sa news, sa television, sa print media at saka social media na kayo naghihirap dyan. And in fact, meron kaming nakita na maglola, hawak niya yung kanyang apo nasa rooftop ng bahay at they were being rescued. At syempre, nakakatakot yung Ted. Nasa rooftop ka, nakasama mo
Yeah.
yung apo mo.
Yeah. Exactly.
This is really severe flood.
Talaga.
At saka hindi lang yun, Ted. Nakita ko rin sa social media na pati yung mga baboy naglalangoy sa street na it became a virtual river. It was a flash flood.
Yeah. Okay. So, mga kababayan at kayong mga kapwa Pilipino dito sa Amerika o sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo kung nais ninyong tumulong sa mga biktima ng bagyo sa atin, ah, ah, I suggest na tumulong tayo. Ah, pero huwag nyo nang ipadaan sa gobyerno. Yung tulong nyo. Ah, I suggest na,
Nakakatuwa yung sinabi mo, Ted,
yeah,
dahil
yeah,
nabasa ko na nag-promise ang United States na magbibigay daw ng 1 million. Pero meron din akong nakalap na suggestion nila na huwag mong ipadaan sa gobyerno, baka nakawin pa yan ng mga
exactly.
opisyalis ng Pilipinas. Kaya idala na lang yan, siguro idala na lang yan sa religious group like Caritas or sa Philippine National Red Cross or magpadala ng representatives ng US Embassy or sa mga non-profit organizations para baka mamaya pag
Exactly.
ipaitan mo yan sa uh, government official baka nakawin pa then marami na tayong narinig na mga kawatan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Idaan nyo na lang po sa mga sinabi ni Dan na organisasyon. Lalo na siguro yung Caritas dahil
Yes, religious group,
ay
Catholic.
mga pare, mga madre
It's
ang
implemented by the
nagpapatagpo
Catholic.
nito at ah, alam kong hindi korap ang mga yan. So,
Yeah,
you have something to give, course it through Caritas or any other reputable organizations as mentioned by Dan.
yeah.
Ah, di ba? Ngayon, Dan, let's go to another topic. In fact, it's our major topic for today's vlog. Itong boiling issue about the alleged uh, pending impending warrant of arrest to be served by the ICC through the Interpol for Senator Bato de la Rosa. It looks like it's a hot issue in the Philippines right now dahil there are two schools of thought kung paano arestuhin si Senator De La Rosa. On the other hand, ang sabi naman ni Senate President uh,
Tito Soto.
Tito Soto, no way, you cannot arrest while the Senate, well, you cannot arrest Senator De La Rosa while the Senate is on session. Cargo namin siya. Tama, so ito ang pinagtutuunan ng mainit discussion sa Pilipinas. Earlier I said, may dalawang schools of thought. Yung isa ay ang position ni Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin. Ang sabi niya, they can no longer surrender. The government can no longer surrender. Senator De La Rosa to the Interpol the way that the government did to ex-President Rodrigo Duterte. Di ba? Sinurrender nila, surrender ang tawag. Sinurrender nila sa ICC through the Interpol. At ang nag-serve ng arrest warrant ay si General Nicolas Torre. You remember?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. At nakita natin lahat on live television
Mhm.
how the drama of his arrest unfolded. Dahil there was earlier resistance from the group of President Duterte, including his own former executive secretary. Now, ano sa tingin mo, pare ko, sa announcement ni Secretary Bersamin na they cannot do the same procedure in the case of Senator Bato de la Rosa as they did for in the case of President Duterte, ex-President Duterte, dahil there is a new ruling of the Supreme Court. And this ruling that was promulgated by the Supreme Court recently, I suppose, it sets out some procedures regarding the cases like this na kailangan dumaan sa judicial process bago nila makuha yung isang taong pinapaaresto ng outside country, in this case the ICC. It has to go through the judicial process, in other words, through extradition. At may mga rulings, may ruling daw ang Supreme Court tungkol dyan kung paano ipapatupad ito. So, anong say mo dyan?
Kung ako, dahil di ba pinagmamalaki ni Bato de la Rosa noon na gusto niyang sumama kay President Duterte sa Hague at gusto rin niyang makasama siya. In fact, willing siyang makulong din siya nakasama si former President Duterte. Di ba? Gusto niya nung sumama, magkasama sila. Ngayon, kung ako si Bato, kung wala akong kasalanan, di maganda yan. Mag-surrender ka na lang. Kasi ang extradition, tatagal pa ang proseso niyan.
Yeah.
Kung ako sa kanya, dahil total, kung naman, close ally naman sila ni Duterte, mag-surrender na lang siya. I-surrender na lang sarili niya.
Yeah.
Total, gusto naman niya makasama ang kanyang dating boss.
Exactly, but it looks like he's very encouraging yung announcement naman ni Senate President Tito Soto na hindi siya basta-basta arestuhin while the Senate in session. So, siyempre, doon muna siya sa Senado. Hindi basta-basta mag-surrender. Total, protektahan naman siya ng Senado through the Senate President. So, hindi mo rin siya masisisi kung medyo he changed his mind now. Di ba?
Yeah.
But there are many lawyers na nakausap natin din. I mean, yeah, that nagbigay din ng opinion at mga nababasa rin natin ang kanilang opinion na hindi naman kailangan na i-extradite o dadaan pa sa judicial process si Senator De La Rosa. Kasi yung batas na pinagbabasehan tungkol sa mga kasong ito ay referring to Republic Act 9851 or otherwise known as the International Humanitarian Law. Itong batas na ito nagpro-provide daw ng dalawang opsyon. Una, surrender or extradition. So, pwedeng mamili ang gobyerno kung alin dito ang gamitin na opsyon. In the case of Senator De La Rosa, bakit pinili yung extradition? Yan ang
It will
tanong.
take time. It will
Diba?
take time.
Yeah. With all due respect to Executive Secretary Bersamin, ay maraming nag-uupos sa kanyang
Yeah.
announcement.
Opinion.
Isa dito, si Kwan, a lawyer, I think I come across his opinion on Facebook. Let me read a part of this of his Facebook post. I'm referring to Attorney Reyes Del Rosario. Ang title ng kanyang post, Will the new rules on extradition, ito yung pinamulgate ng Supreme Court, requiring a local judicial process, apply to Senator Bato de la Rosa? Ito yung sinabi ni Attorney Reyes Del Rosario. The rules on extradition proceedings apply only to requests made by state with which the Philippines has an extradition treaty or agreement. The ICC is not a state. Hindi daw state ang ICC. So, hindi siya pwedeng mag-request ng extradition. Ito, it is an international tribunal created under the Rome Statute. And since the Philippines withdrew from that treaty in 2019, it no longer falls under any state-to-state extradition process. This means that the rules requiring judicial approval for extradition proceedings in the Philippines do not apply to the ICC. The ICC operates under a separate mechanism. Under Section 17 of Republic Act number 9851 or the Philippine Act on Crimes Against International Humanitarian Law, Act or the Philippine Act on Crimes Against International Humanitarian Law, Genocide and other crimes against humanity. The government may directly surrender. The government may directly surrender an accused person to an international tribunal without following the extradition process. So, maliwanag. In short, the Philippine government chooses to cooperate. Senator De La Rosa may be arrested or surrendered under Republic Act 9851. Ito yung batas na pinagbabasehan niya sa kanyang opinion. The same way, the law provides for cooperation with international courts like the ICC. The legal process would not require the same judicial approval needed for extradition to a foreign state. This underscores that the issue is not about procedure, but about political will. The law allows cooperation with the ICC. The question is whether the current administration is willing to use it. Ito ang sinabi ni Atty. Rex de Rosario. Mga kaibigan, anong masasabi mo dyan, Dan?
I agree to that completely, Ted. I think that's the better way of addressing this issue. Just surrender if so that if you did not commit crimes against humanity, then you'll be absolved. But if you committed crime, then you have to prove yourself. So I agree that's a shortcut. And I think
Yeah,
that's also within the due process of law or international law. Pero ang caveat dyan, Ted, is the Philippine government cannot arrest Bato de la Rosa if the Senate is in session or Bato de la Rosa is inside the building. So, ang magandang paraan dyan is kung nasa labas na si Presidente, pwede siyang i-arestuhin sa outside of the Senate session hall or outside of the building.
referring to Senator De La Rosa, di ba?
Yes. That's
Ang
the
problema,
expeditious way of
pero ang problema kung mag, he will stay there
forever.
forever.
That means if he's will stay there forever, that means he's guilty because uh, uh, he's hiding
Yeah, yeah,
from the law. At siyempre, parang insulto sa institution of the Senate dahil sabi nga ni Senator Vic Soto, Tito Soto, is an insult. Dahil, biro mo, yung isa nila kasama doon kampala, he committed a crime. So ayaw nilang masangkot sa kanyang crime dahil insulto sa kanila. Biro mo, the highest lawmaking body of the country is facing surrender. Kaya yun, ang pinaprotektahan ni Senator Soto.
exactly. Yung palang immunity ng Senado na ibigay nila sa kanilang kapwa senador o sa mga, I think they also give legislative immunity sa mga witnesses, di ba?
Right.
Yung pala, yung as it applies to senators, hindi pala batas yun eh. Internal rules lang ng Senate yun.
Internal. Parliamentary procedures nila.
Yeah, so there is no legal basis pala.
So,
So,
legal basis, yes. Within
wala
their
ng
own
mga legal
parameters naman.
authorities in case na magtago si
Yes.
Senator De La Rosa doon and avail of that immunity
Oh.
para na silang ah, gumawa ng paraan
Mhm.
how to get him. He cannot of course stay there forever, di ba?
Of course, yeah. Then
Pare.
there's a Damocles sword over your head.
At saka by the way, dito sa amin sa Bay Area, paglilibot ko sa mga coffee shops na where are there are fellow Filipinos, doon sila like sa Hercules, doon sa may maganda doon na pinag-uumpukan ng mga Pilipino. Sa ah, McDonald's, sa Hercules. Kasi
Mhm.
masarap ang kape nila doon eh. At punta ka doon ng mga morning, marami sila doon. Nagkakagaling lang sila, nag-jogging yan. O nag-exercise sa labas.
Mhm.
At habang nagkakape, politika pinag-uusapan sa Pilipinas, pare. Yung mga nangyayari. So pinag-uusapan din nila yung tungkol kay Bato de la Rosa, Senator de la Rosa, yung impending uh,
Surrender niya or
arrest
arrest
order
forever.
for him.
Uh-huh.
Eh, pinagdedebatehan din nila ito. Pero karamihan sa kanila, pabor sa option na i-surrender na lang siya ng Philippine government. Huwag nang i-extradition.
Correct. Dahil
Kapag
matagal pa yun.
patatagalin pa,
Oo.
total, nagawa naman ng gobyerno yon.
Oo.
Eh, Presidente Duterte, ex-President Duterte, bakit hindi lang magagawa?
Correct.
uh, Senator De La Rosa. What makes him special?
I
Yun ang
know.
prevailing na komentaryo nila. So, with all due respect,
Oh
with
yeah.
all due respect to Chief Justice, now, former Chief Justice, now Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, dahil nire-respeto ko yan.
Oo.
Parehas nating Ilocano yan. At alam kong he was a bar top notcher pare, by the way.
Yes.
A product of the University of the East, College of Law.
Yeah.
And sa UP naman, University of the Philippines, ang kanyang political science na
Yes.
preparatory course before he took up law proper. Number 9 sa bar exam yan pare.
That's right. I
Eh,
read his
I respect
brief
his
resume.
legal acumen.
Baka, baka he was,
Talented na lawyer yan. Otherwise, he could not be Chief Justice.
yeah,
And every Ilocano should be proud of him.
yeah.
But with all
Well,
due respect sa kanya, ay sinasabi lang natin, maraming mga Pilipino dito sa Amerika na hindi pabor
oh,
doon sa extradition process for Senator De La Rosa. Eh, pwede naman i-surrender. Eh, bakit hindi pa i-surrender? So,
baka,
what makes Senator De La Rosa a special, more special even
yeah,
than his former boss, former President Duterte, di ba? Yan ang tanong
yeah.
nila.
Palagay ko Ted, he was only being gentle or courteous, na ayaw niya masyadong masaktan ng kanyang ego o para hindi naman masyadong masakit kay Senator De La Rosa kaya sinasabi niya yun. But hindi ikaw hindi ka agree, ako hindi ako agree. Mga tao dito sa California hindi agree kaya
Yeah, dyan sa lugar mo, no?
ay dito agree sila na surrender na lang. Yun ang
Yes.
nakikita ko rito. Wala akong nakikitang pabor sa mga ganyang klaseng uh, tao na siyang implementor ng tukhang or mga pinapatay na or siya sa mga DDS, Duterte Death Squad, kaya nag, nagsawa ng mga tao, Ted, they want action.
Exactly. So, I hope whatever it is, I hope that in the end, justice will be served
Will
sa
prevail.
mga namatay na mga
Mm.
during the drug campaign. I mean,
Yeah,
drug war.
yeah,
So-called. Diba?
yes. Anyway, bumalik naman tayo dito sa Amerika,
Yeah,
Ted.
sa Amerika naman, anong
Okay.
update mo sa shutdown, pare?
Mga kababayan sa buong mundo, dito ngayon sa Amerika ay pinag-uusapan ng Senate na sana ay matigil na yung government shutdown para maging normal na ang buhay namin dito dahil ngayon nakakaproblema sa uh, traffic control sa mga airports at mga
Yeah.
iba nadidelay, mga iba hindi natutuloy sa kanilang destination. At I hope also that malapit ang Christmas holiday, sana yung mga international flights ay hindi maapektahan dahil maraming gustong umuwi sa Pilipinas sa holiday season na ito. At kaya pinag-uusapan ngayon ang Senado kung they can agree on removing the government shutdown. So pinag-uusapan pa ngayon sa Senate. Nagkaroon ng special session ang Senado ng Amerika at alam naman ninyo na it will take 60 members of the Senate to agree on ending the government shutdown. Kaya patuloy pa rin ang ating pagdadasal mga kababayan na Pilipino sa iba't ibang mundo na sana ay mawakas na itong government shutdown para maging normal ang
Yeah.
buhay namin dito sa Amerika.
Yeah, referring to sinabi mo yung mga flight cancellations. Itong araw na ito pala,
Um,
2,300 flights in the various airports sa Amerika
Yeah.
ay na-cancel.
Yes.
Can you imagine so many people were stranded for those cancellations? At 8,100 flights ang na-delay.
Correct.
And all because mga kabayan, sa Pilipinas at other parts of the world, dahil dito si shutdown. Dahil yung mga air controllers na nagtatrabaho sa airport, medyo ah, marami sa kanila ay on furlough. O
Was
kaya
it sweldo, Ted?
they called in sick dahil those who remained as in their jobs, walang pay. They're working without pay.
Mm-hmm.
All because of the shutdown. Kaya I think I heard the Trump administration na ordering na i-reduce ang flights by 6% on Tuesday, tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
and by 10% on Friday. Ang tanong, pare, paano malapit ng Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Kaya dapat, di maraming mga pupunta sa Thanksgiving holiday na madidelay o makancel ang flights nila.
Correct. Yeah.
And you know guys, yung hindi nakakalam, iba't paring ng mundo, Thanksgiving is even more important than Christmas dito sa Amerika. That's the number one national holiday here. Kaya siguradong maraming magagalit pag
Correct.
makakancel ang kanilang flights or madidelay. 3 araw lang yun eh.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, it starts on a Friday, right? Saturday, Sunday. So, hindi pwedeng madelay yun. So, I think, sa tingin ko, the senators, alam nila yan. So, I think they're rushing up
Mm-hmm.
to strike a compromise deal between the Republicans and the Democrats before Thanksgiving. Ano sa tingin mo?
Hopefully, Ted, at kasi ang contentious issue dito, Ted, is ayaw ipasa or yung or ayaw ipasa or ayaw ng Republican ang i-extend yung Affordable Care Act
Yeah.
na ipasa noong panahon ni former President Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Kasi kung hindi nila isasama yon, lalaki ang health insurance premium ng mga Americans sa Amerika. At it's ang increase double, Ted. Kaya and it needs
Maraming
60
matataktan.
members of the Senate. Kaya kailangan they have to compromise, extend 1 year. Pero nagmamatigas ang mga dalawang partido nito sa Senado, Ted.
Yeah, but the Democrats, would not give in because they would want the Affordable Care Act funded, di ba?
Yes,
Yun naman ayaw naman ng
Republican.
But we still hope, pare. I hope na they will be able to strike a deal
Correct, yes.
before Thanksgiving. Okay?
Kaya hindi lang sa Pilipinas mayroong problema, mga kababayan. Dito rin sa Amerika, meron ding mga ganitong problema namin dito sa Amerika. Dahil siguro sa politics, it really very divisive ang politics din dito, Ted. Kaya we hope and pray that they can strike a deal
And by
tonight.
the way, I think almost 1 million or more than 1 million ang affected na federal workers, pare, by the shutdown, right?
Oh, yes, right. Oh,
Almost 1 million or
I I don't know the exact figures,
yeah,
Ted, but
around
yung mga
that.
parks, yung mga national parks, they are closed.
Yeah, and the federal workers are affected by the shutdown. Hindi sila
Yeah.
makapagsweldo.
Oo.
What happened now sa mga kwan pala? Sa mga servicemen? Nakapagsoldo ba sila?
Ay, sabi ni Trump, he's looking for funding. Pero, ay ano kung inatake tayo ng Russia halimbawa, ano, we cannot respond because of this government shutdown.
Yeah. Pangilang araw na ngayon? I think this is the longest now dahil
That is the
longest
longest.
was
It's
35 days. How many days now?
45 days.
35 ang longest dati.
Yeah, right.
How many days now? 40 at yata.
Uh, uh, okay,
40th
okay.
day now. October something nag-umpisa, di ba?
Ano date ngayon, Ted? 9?
9.
It's 40 days. 40 days.
40 days, yeah. 40 days.
Yes.
Well, we hope and we pray na matatapos ito before Thanksgiving.
Correct.
Otherwise, maraming patutuhan Americans.
Yeah, at marami rin uuwi sa Pilipinas sa December. Marami nagpaplano. Kaya kailangan matapos ito dahil lahat apektado, Ted. Even the economy is affected here in America.
Yeah. Exactly. So, kaya kailangan matapos na yan
Hmm.
para yung mga air traffic controllers ay makabalik sa kanilang trabaho
At matanggap nila ang kanilang mga sweldo, Ted.
at tanggapin ang kanilang mga sweldo. Tatapusin na ang kanilang porlo.
Yes.
At
Okay.
ah, f- ah, full staff na ang mga air traffic controllers.
Oh,
So the flights will no longer be canceled.
yeah.
The flights will no longer be delayed. Okay? Let's hope for the
Okay.
best, pare. Okay,
Okay.
paalam na tayo.
Okay, so ikaw ba, muna ko muna magpaalam, Ted.
Okay, mga kabayan, bago ang lahat at bago kami paalam at makiusap ulit kami sa inyo. Yung hindi ba nag-subscribe, please subscribe. Paki-share na rin ang aming vlog and like. At kami ngayon ay nagpapaalam. Babalik kami sa susunod with Dan. I hope all is well soon sa mga kapwa Pilipino sa Pilipinas. Lalo na yung mga naging biktima ng dalawang magkasunod na bagyo. We are always praying for you. At we are also hoping na mga kapwa naming Pilipino dito sa Amerika at iba't ibang panig ng mundo, if they can spare some of whatever they can share.
Their blessings.
Mga typhoon victims, please don't hesitate to send them to the Philippines. Thank you and see you in our next vlog.
Okay. So magpapaalam ulit kami mga kababayan pansamantala at babalik ulit kami next week para magtaguyod ng mga aming kuro-kuro sa kung ano nangyayari sa Amerika at sa aming kuro-kuro naman sa nangyayari sa Pilipinas. Magandang gabi mga kapwa Filipinos at mga kababayan sa buong mundo.